Somebody stumped me today with one of their questions. They asked me about this whole rising tide. What does that mean practically? What do you actually mean by that? And I think they were all in favor of the idea of rising tide lifts all boats and everything, which is what we were saying in the video. But I was thinking, no. And the reason I was thinking no is like, I'm going to be thinking about this all day now. What does that mean practically? Because even though it's inspirational, and even though I said I could feel it when I was in the community, I don't know what that means practically. So, as you do when you're stumped by a question, you obsess over it for a little while. And I've been thinking about and I kept coming up with these different stories and different thoughts. And I thought I'm having trouble putting them all together. So this is my attempt at putting them all together. Story number one. I had a friend called Debbie who was I was doing some volunteer work. She was in charge of the volunteer work. And after the project was done, she handed out thank you notes to everybody that volunteered. And it struck me that it never crossed my mind to send thank you notes to people. That I felt, it feels, as I'm saying this, it's like I was feeling like I deserved to be thanked. It wasn't quite like that. It was that I didn't see myself as being that authority figure. I didn't see myself as being the one to thank the others. And yet she seemed to do that so naturally. And yes, she was in charge of the volunteers at that time. But as I say, there was something about how natural that was for her that she would take the time to write a thank you card. And what was so interesting is that I really didn't see myself as being in a position kind of authority or of leadership. And would I want to thank people that had worked with me? Of course I would. Would I want to do thank you cards for them? Brilliant. Yes, I would. What's this got to do with the price of fish, you're wondering? I don't know. I'm trying to put it together. What I was thinking is my practical answer to the question of this rising tide was that we could do more to share and to share the work of the people we love. I know we're talking about Ren a lot, but and it crossed my mind that I'm not sharing his work. I know I'm doing the videos here on YouTube, but I'm not sharing with friends. I'm not sharing with connections on Facebook. And what came across time and time again in the comments was that people felt out of touch with the music scene or disconnected. And then they found Ren and then they found the reaction videos. And I thought, surely there's some sort of connection of the dots here that we, as in me and you, may not see ourselves as the one initiating this subject, like on Facebook or with friends. It's like we don't see ourselves as the one to send the thank you card. We're just normal, every day doing our stuff. But maybe it is that we have to think of ourselves as there could be people out there right now saying exactly what you guys have said in the comments of I felt disconnected from music. I wanted to see something else. I felt disconnected from quite a lot of things actually. And maybe they're just wanting a suggestion. Maybe it's not such a big deal of you forcing your ideas on them. Maybe it's a post that says, hey, if you're feeling a little bit disconnected, these are some recommendations that I've got for you. And it's so simple, but I personally don't feel that kind of thing is easy. I think that it takes you to look at yourself in a slightly different way. I don't know whether this is making sense for you. This whole idea of rising tide, what would be a really practical way that we could lift other people? And the most obvious thing is sharing and telling other people. But that does feel to me too big a push. Like almost like you're pushing your ideas on somebody. Yet, I promise you, if you looked at the comments, there's so many people that were saying they were disconnected and they were just out of touch with music and stuff. And also, a friend of mine, a photographer, made a post the other day saying, "Yep, fell down the wren rabbit hole again." And then a few people commented and said, she put a link to a music video. Some people commented, some people say they've done the same. And it was about her going first and her seeing herself as somebody that initiates that conversation. And I think that's the difference. And I think that's possibly one way that we can do this whole rising tide and helping other people in the future in a practical way. But maybe you've got better ideas. I'm hoping you got loads more ideas. But today, that's all I've got for you. But thank you for the question, and thank you for stumping me and making me think about it all day. Tatty bye. Bye.